Hello everyone, welcome back to Technical Tuesday. And what sounds like we're going to have a little helper because Kyle's over here repeating what I'm saying. So today's video is going to be another swatch video, and it is on all of my purple polishes this time for my stamping polishes. And we're going to go ahead and start with the few non-Maniology polishes that I have. And for those who've watched my clear jelly stamping video, you'll recognize this one. It's a glow in the dark. It's glow number 7 out of the set. And it's a very sheer stamping polish. They do have a very nice glow, and their colors are not bad. The only complaint I would have is that they're very jelly-like and sheer. So they don't really show very well, but their glow is very strong. So they're definitely good for more subtle designs. Kind of like a peekaboo design, so to speak. But it is a nice color. You see that it doesn't show very well over black. And yes, Kyle, it needs charging. It doesn't show very well over white. Yes, it needs to be charged, buddy. Go put it on the charger. And the next polish that I'm going to show you is a Born Pretty one. And this one is Birth of the Queen. And this is a very deep metallic purple. This is more my line of purples. My favorite colors of purple are much darker. In color. This is a very rich, dark purple, which oddly enough on camera it looks blue. I don't know why the camera is, I guess the camera's having a hard time picking up this particular color because it's showing it as blue. It's not though, I assure you, this is not a blue, it is purple. That's too funny, it looks like a royal blue on camera. Really, it's a deep royal purple. Huh. Well, that's funny. I wasn't expecting that. It looks very different on camera. Interesting. I did not expect that. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, so the next color is El Dorado, and I don't know if this one is available anymore. And this one leans slightly towards the pink realm, but it is for Maniology is B152, and I got this in one of their bundles back when they were still Bundle Monster many years ago. Right around 7 years ago. Well, that's lovely. Okay. So I wiped that off the bottom, smudged my stamp a little bit because of it. Almost hard to close, its age was showing. So this one shows up pretty well over both dark and light colors, and it's a nice slightly pink tinged purple. Next in line is Sweet Berry B310. This is a lighter purple, a little bit softer, and also shows up pretty well over dark as well as light, though not quite as well over dark. Next on the list is Fairy Tale, and this one is actually a holographic, but it's not a strong holographic. It is more subtle. In fact, the holographic is stronger in the bottle than it is stamped or by itself. It almost looks like a shimmer. It's like a micro holographic and not a whole lot of it in there. It's kind of like a scattering of it to make it a shimmer. Just the holographic pigments like to stick to the bottle, I guess, and give it more holographic look in the bottle than what it actually is. So this is Fairy Tale B369, and it shows up well over both black and white. And let's see if with zooming in I can get, there you go, you can see the shimmer in it a little better. And it does have it within the stamps. It shows more on the black than it does on the white, but you can see it in both. And now for the Grimm's Night Fall Collection pieces that are also purple. One leans more towards blue than purple, and that'll be the next one I show you. But the first one is Dearest Aurora, and that is now this is a special effects polish, so it is far more sheer than most of the polishes seen here. And this was back in their early days when this one was, I don't know if the formula is still exactly the same. I would imagine so, since they still carry it, or at least very similar for formula. But this one was originally purchased back when they were still Bundle Monster, and one of their first special effect polishes. And it is a very beautiful purple, but like I said, as you can see on the white here, it is far more sheer, and its color doesn't show as well over the white. Now over the black, over darker colors is what it's meant to be used over, much like the Moonbeams collection. These react like the Moonbeams collection, which is also a very early created special effect polish of theirs that was created back in their Bundle Monster days. Okay, so this one is called Gretel Brittle B222. And this is the one I was saying that was a little more, leans more towards blue than it does purple, but it's definitely within both. It's very blue-like purple. And this is very pretty. It's from the same collection as Dearest Aurora. And I'm glad that the purple is still shining through on the camera and not making it look completely blue like the very gorgeous purple I have over here from Born Pretty. That was kind of upsetting, just that the camera did not pick up that color well. But this one is also shows better over dark than it does over light, because it is a special effect polish that is meant to be over dark colors. Hi, Leia. This is Monarch Dream, the next one on the list. Leia, sweetie, can you be patient, please? Okay, lay down, sweetheart. Lay down. Yes, my sweet girl. Okay, so this is Monarch Dream, also from a bundle back when they were Bundle Monster. As you can see, it has the BMC logo on it. And it shows up well over both dark and light. We'll refresh the Thanks, Leia. Can you get off my desk? Leia, off. Thank you. Okay, so we are on to Viola, I believe is how this is supposed to be said. And this is a nice deeper purple that has more of a red hue to it. And then it is B303. And this one shows up really well over white, and it shows up okay over black. But because it is also a darker color itself, it's more subtle over a dark color than it is over, excuse me, over white. Sorry guys, I am exceptionally tired. Okay, so next in line is Foxglove B500. This is a relatively new one. This one came out a couple of months ago. And I remember a lot of people, including myself, being kind of disappointed at the sheerness of it because of how dark it is, and it wasn't specified to be like a special effect. And it does kind of react more like a special effect polish, so I'm guessing that's why it is the way it is. I don't know if it was intentional or not. Willow was the one that came with it and also was slightly on the sheer side. Willow was less sheer than this one. But this is Foxglove. You can let's see if I can get it to show. Zoom in. Come on, focus. It's kind of hard to see it, but it does show the color nicely over black. It's just hard to see because it's a dark color itself. And it's kind of sheer and doesn't really look entirely the same color as what you would think it would over white. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Oh, come back, swatch stick. Okay. So the next one is one of my favorites, and I don't think it was last summer. I think it was the summer before. And it's called Stellar, but it came in a galaxy typed themed box. And it is a beautiful lilac-y purple with a gold shimmer. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is definitely one of my favorites. Purple is my favorite color to start with, but like this is definitely one of my favorites because it is just that stunning. And I just got it all over myself. That's okay. But over dark, it gives it more of a gold. Over light, the purple is more prominent. Over dark, the gold shimmer is more prominent. Okay, so this next one is Lilac Mist, which is B240. And Lilac Mist is very appropriate. It's a light lilac color for sure. So it is quite appropriate name. Okay, and oh, I'm so tired, I forgot to mention that. I don't even know if I showcased it. But it also shows up well over both black and white, which is a plus, especially how well it shows over black. So this next one is Mangosteen B437, and it's a nice deep purple. It leans heavier into the blue side. But is still very much so a purple. And it does show up quite well over both. However, because it's naturally a dark color, it does not, you can't see it very well, but it does stamp equally as well over both. It's just the unfortunates of the fact that it is, see, now that I get closer, you can see it is a dark color. So because it's a dark color, it's hard to see, but it does stamp just as well over dark as it does over light. Okay, so this next one is another one that I'm not sure if it's still available or not, because it was from their bundle Monster Days. This one's called Violet Waves B195. And this actually is more of a jelly polish. As freaky as that is, it is more of a jelly polish. You can see through it. So it's just a very dark jelly polish. And it shows up phenomenally over white. And not so great because of how dark it is naturally over black. But it does stamp very well. You just can't really see it because it's so dark. And it's a jelly, so the black kind of bleeds through it because it's a jelly. So it's light colors only kind of thing. I need an energy drink or a coffee. Okay, so this next one is part of their Rainbow Splash collection, which I think they discontinued. It's also a jelly stamping polish, and it's called Violet Spectrum. And it's not as dark as Violet Waves, and it may have been like their recreation of it for all I know, because like I said, I don't think Violet Waves is available anymore. And sadly, I don't think this one is either. But Violet Waves was gone long before Violet Spectrum. Give me just a second, and I will show you the stick. I got to put this away. Okay. So over white, as typical with the jelly, it's just fine. Over the dark, not so much. You can't really see it. But it is a very nice purple. I like Violet Waves more. Violet Waves is more my speed. Okay, so this is another one I really like, and this came in the stained glass box that was released shortly after I rediscovered Maniology, but before I realized what the MXM was. So I missed the box because it's before I subscribed. I subscribed late in that year after I rediscovered them, but I did get my hands on the plates from this. In fact, the plates are still sold. I have everything that came from this box with the exception of its free gift, I believe. So yeah, I believe that's the only thing I'm missing is the free gift from it. But I did go back and purchase both polishes and both plates. But this is a nice deep purple with a hint of shimmer. Okay, so he's back to playing his Mario Kart. So this one stamps well over both. light and dark. In fact, you can see it from this distance even, when the light hits it right. That it's, I don't know if you can see the shimmer though. It does have a very nice light shimmer. There we go, now that we've zoomed in. It's just a very soft shimmer. It's not very bright or anything like that. It's not very noticeable. It's just very soft and subtle. Okay, so this next one is Lunar Lines, which looks a lot like Shattered just without the shimmer. And it's a hint darker too. This is B163. And this one also shows up well over both colors, though because it is so dark, it is kind of hard to see the purple over the black because it is so dark, but you can see it in the right lighting. Okay, this next one is from, I don't remember the name of the box, but it had, it was a very art themed box, but it was also a very floral art themed box with women. And it came with Renaissance and this, which is Baroque, which is a nice deep purple, preferably without the cat hair. My cat. I love her dearly. I say my cat, but really she's a daddy's girl. She loves her mama, but she's a daddy's girl. If daddy's home, mama tends to be chopped liver. She picked him. He didn't pick her. She picked him. Okay. So this is B421. And this also shows up rather well over both, and even at this distance you can see it a little bit on the dark, even on that dark color. On the black you can see it just a little bit. You see a little better up close with the lighting. It does show up the same over both. It's just because it is so dark, it's hard to see. Okay, so this next one I know is discontinued. I remember being sad when it was discontinued, and I was also glad that I'd gotten it, because I'd gotten it maybe 2-3 months before it was discontinued. And along with this other counterpart that got discontinued, which was Witch's Brew. They were the only two that I'm aware of that they had made that was a thermal stamping polish. Excuse me. Frigid and Witch's Brew were the only two that I'm aware of that they have made. Now, they may have made more, but I've never seen them personally. And so this is Frigid, which is a thermal purple polish. It turns lighter color the warmer it is, and darker the colder it is. And my son is obsessed with this one because it's a thermal. And I know he's going to be obsessed with my Clear Jelly Stamper ones because they're glow in the dark. He loves special effect polishes, especially things like color change and thermal. He also really loves sparkly things too, so if it has a lot of flakies and glitters and things like that, he tends to love them as well. Okay, so this next one looks a lot like Frigid, just not thermal, and slightly lighter. This one is called Flourish, which is B467, which is a lovely it's a darker light purple, almost a mid-range purple, and it is a cream finish. And it shows up very well over both dark and light. Next in line is Marzipan, which is a mauvey, darker mauvey purple. It almost leans into gray, a little bit more than purple. It's borderline in the gray realm. So it's a very grayish colored purple. And on camera, it pretty much does look gray. And it does show up well over both white and black, light and dark. I do believe my hubby's home. Okay, so this next one looks a lot like Marzipan, ever so slightly different, and it is called Sassy, which is B269. And it's just a hint darker and slightly more purple and less gray. And let's get that cat hair off of my brush. There we go. Anything was just dangling on there. Okay. Next in line is, oops, sorry. This one does, like the others, show up well over white and black. So this next one is Charmed B486. And this is a much brighter one. This one came in 2023's holiday Halloween event calendar. And it is a very bright purple. Also is a cream finish. All three of the polishes in that box were a cream finish. This was the first time they've done one with a cream in one of those boxes. They always had very hyper glitter shimmer special effect polishes in the two previous ones before that. It shows up very well over white and reasonably well over black. Okay, so for those who watched my Simple Galaxy Mani with February's 2024's stamping plate, this polish I used within that. This is Kailua, I believe is how it's said. I am not 100% sure, but this is a nice light purple that has a almost silver shimmer, but it has like a hint of like a blue in the shimmer. So this is kind of like Stellar, but on the opposite end. Instead of it being gold, it's more of a silver in it. And it does the same thing over black that Stellar does. And the shimmer is more prominent and the color is less prominent. And over white, it's very prominent. And this is B393, Kailua. Okay, so next in line is Optical Illusion. This is also from when they were still Bundle Monster. And this is much, so I'm curious to see how this shows up on camera, because this one looks a lot like Birth of the Queen from Born Pretty in color. So let's see if it shows up as the purple it is, or if it's going to show up as blue. Borderline. Borderline, it does look a little bit more blue on camera. That's unfortunate that my camera, yeah, no, it looks more blue. It looks more blue than it does purple. How unfortunate. At least on the camera screen, that looks blue. When I go to look at this later, we'll see. But I get the feeling it's probably going to look the same on that too. It's not, I assure you guys, it's not. I guess the programming of this camera does not like this particular shade of purple. But that one is almost identical to the Born Pretty one. The Born Pretty one's just a hair darker. So this shows up well over both. You can even see its shimmer quite well from a distance. This one is, I think it's discontinued as well, because I think this 3-piece collection, when it has been discontinued. This is Gumdrop B408. And it is a slightly more sheer, more of a special effect polish, much like Peppermint. And I don't remember the name of the last one. But there was 3 in that collection. Generally, their collections, when they release a new one, is only 3, but sometimes they will release a bigger collection, and it'd be a 6-piece. But generally, it's just a 3-piece collection. So it's a very light purple over white, and it's a darker, deeper purple over black. Okay, so this next one is Dear Violet B235. And this is a very hyper metallic polish. And when these hyper metallic polishes show up fantastic over any color, because all of the color is within the metallic pigments, and it is just, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I love these hyper metallic ones. Okay, so next in line is Thriller B348. And this is a full-blown holographic. And it leans kind of in the pink realm, but it is still purple, and it is gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. Look at that shine of rainbow. Oh my goodness, look at that rainbow shine, guys. So even its stamp shows the holographic quite well over black and white. And look at that shine, guys. That is stunning. That is absolutely stunning. Okay, so this last one, it's not the last one, but this next one is discontinued. It came in a plate polish box set, and that's why this bottle is so small. And the other polish, if memory serves me right, was actually a white, and I used that up a long time ago. I believe it was Bam White or Angelic White, one or the other. But this one is Purple Prince B172. And I know it had a bigger bottle once upon a time. Unfortunately, it was discontinued before I could get a bigger bottle, so I almost never use this one anymore, just because when I don't have access to the color anymore to replenish it, I tend to not want to use it. That's what happens, is I don't like not having it. It has to be like the perfect mani for me to even remotely consider using it. I don't know why, I just have a hard time dealing with not having it. It just, as weird as it is, it's a consumable item, I should be using it. But I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of hard. The attachment is strong. So this next one is Raisin B452. Oh shit, before I do that. This shows up well over both white and black. I almost forgot that, guys. I am very tired. So this next one is called Raisin, and I've heard people call this a sand polish. A sand stamping polish. And it's very gritty, so I can understand why people call it a sand stamping polish. But it is a very heavy in glitters And it has a little bit of holographic glitters in it as well. It is a very deep purple, and I love its color. Well, sure, this shade of purple, it doesn't show up as a blue on camera, but the other one does. But this one shows up pretty well over both, but it is a very dark one, so over the black it is a little harder to see. And then this next one looks very similar to it, but it's a lighter purple than that, and it has a little bit more holographic to it than, and less glitter packed in it altogether. It's called Hex, and it is B446. Now this came out in, I believe, last year's, not 2023, but the 2022 Halloween Advent Calendar. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it came in that one. I think the year before was one where they had like Evil Eye or something to that effect. This is Hex. Gorgeous color. And it shows up pretty well over both. Black and white. Okay, so this next one came out right before I started my subscription for Maniology's MXM box. And this is Gloom B404. This came out the month before I subscribed, and it is a very beautiful deep purple with a coppery gold like color shimmer in it. It's got a very nice shimmer to it. But the shimmer doesn't show very well in the stamping generally. It shows more prominently in the full color. I'll zoom in and show you guys. So nice lovely shimmer that shows very well by itself, but not so well in the stamping itself. Come on. There we go. This is not so distracted. The camera was having trouble focusing. But you can see it over both. They're not very well over the black, and it does change its color some over black and give it a more brown burgundy color versus the purple that it is. Okay, so this next one is Unicorn Horn. And this is a very, very metallic, heavy metallic one as well, much like Dearest Violet, and stands out beautifully over black and white, and you can see it at this distance how bright it is, how much it shows up. It is very, very bright. And this, from what I understand, I was not a subscriber when it came out, came in a unicorn themed box before I rediscovered Maniology. Now, this one was another one of those where I oopsied and ended up with two of them because of various bundles. This one is called Astrid B237, and it also, which is a metallic, just not a chunky metallic like the previous one, this is a smooth metallic, also shows very well over both black and white, as most metallic polishes tend to. It's a very pretty purple. It's definitely a mid-range purple. Okay, so this next one is called Eggplant B492, and this is a deeper purple. It's also metallic, and it shows up just fine over both, though over black, because it is so dark by itself, it is hard to see, but you can definitely see it. There is no super subtlety to it at all, or almost non-existent. No, you can see it, it's just you have to look a little closer. Light has to be hitting it just right for it to be obvious. And then last but certainly not least, this is one of my favorites because it does lean towards the gray realm, but it is a very light, beautiful purple. And it is also discontinued. In fact, you technically can still get it, but the only way to get it is to buy the Rebel Yell kit and get it in the small bottle that I have. They do not sell it in individual bottles anymore and haven't for a long time from what I understand. And they used to have it in a big bottle once upon a time, but once again, have not sold it individually in a very long time. So this is a very, very light lilac, like super light. And it has a hint of like a light gray hue to it. So before I discovered Luna as a suitable replacement for this, this was one of my go-tos during all sorts of minis that required like a very faint, slightly off gray type color. Generally, it was used in gravestones on Halloween minis when I would layer them. That was my go-to for many years. So I would love to see them bring this one back. And that is all of my purples, guys. So there are quite a few here. Being that purple is my favorite color, that is not exactly surprising. Sorry, I got a little bit of congestion going on there. But that is all of them. And I don't have any announcements currently, but I hope this was helpful for you guys and that you guys enjoyed seeing my collection and all the different lovely colors that I own. So the typical outro here, guys. If you like my content and you want to help the channel, please give a like and a comment below. Help get the videos into the algorithm. And subscribe. That gets me closer to ad revenue. And of course, I have in the description below a discount code for 10% off of all Maniology products with the exception of their MXM box and their previous MXM plates. Everything else, their polishes, their accessories, their regular plates, all would get 10% off of an order. And I get a small kickback, so it's a win-win for everybody. And for those of you who have already subscribed and have been liking and commenting the videos and helping getting them in the algorithm, thank you very much. That has been a huge help. And for those of you who have been using my code, thank you. That also helps me keep my consumables supplies stocked. And in the case of where enough people have used my code, I was able to provide you all with a video trying Clear Jelly Stamper for the first time and comparing it to Maniology as per requested. So I can try other brands and give my opinion on their quality and whether or not they're worth buying at the price point that they are for you guys. Even though I'm not big on I'm not one to generally branch out, it allows me to do that as well. So when you guys want stuff like that, it makes it a lot easier for me to do so. So thank you all for watching, for those of you who stuck with me this far, and I hope you all are having a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever it may be, wherever you're at while you are watching this video. And I do believe that's everything, guys. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, bye.